Let's have a look at our first big lecture at level 2. Hopefully by this time you have done the quiz, which was posted on your Schoology page last week. It has reading and some useful vocabulary that you will need to work with this lecture. So let's start with a short with a short discussion, or just let's even think about this. Yeah. So how can geography influence the culture of people? Yeah? So for example, here we've got 4 pictures. Yeah. So think what geographical features you can see on these pictures. What other geographical features you can think of? Think of the area where you are living now, or where you used to live, and think and describe its climate and main geographical features. So, and just think a little bit like how does the place where you live, the geography of the place where you live, can influence your culture and the culture of people, your people. Yeah? So this is just something to engage with here, to start thinking in the right direction. Okay, so now let's download the handout from your lesson. You have the influence of geography on culture, and today we are working with lecture language that signals an explanation, because very often professors explain complex processes or ideas and they understand that students may struggle with them, so they give many explanations during their lectures. In this way, it's easier to understand them. So what lecture language can it be? For example, what I mean is, yeah, or let's look at how this works. Or, so if for example, a lecturer explains what a disruptive technology is, yeah, they can say, okay, disruptive technology, what I mean is, it is the technology that has dramatically changed the way we do things. Or disruptive technology affects our life dramatically. Let's look at how this works, and then explanation. So think of some other phrases you heard maybe, or you read about. So now let's try to find this lecture language. So this is the short text from a lecture about how geography affects the language development of cities. So your task is to circle the lecture language, the signals and explanation, or maybe let's change it like this, yeah? Highlight the lecture language that signals an explanation, green, and highlight the explanation, yellow. Okay, so there should be 2 phrases, lecture language phrases that signal an explanation, and 2 explanations. So I'll give you some time to do this. You can pause the video here. Okay, after you have finished, now let's compare. So have a look. Today we are going to discuss, we will look, let me explain what I mean by, yeah? So this is the lecture language, the signals and explanation. Waterways, what is waterways? Rivers, lakes, and so on. Yeah, this is the explanation. Next, let me show you why waterways have been so important. Yeah, let me show you. It's again to explain, and then this is all explanation. Okay, I hope you did the same. Okay, but in the reading, when we read the text, it's easier to spot this lecture language and explanation, but let's try to do this in the listening text. So in the folder you can find one audio file, the influence of geography. It's a practice lecture. Yeah, it's an audio file. So please listen to it and match two halves of the sentences. Okay. Once you've done it, check with the transcript. The transcript you can find in the same folder. You can pause here while we are working with the transcript. Good. Now check all together. So water walls allow exchange of what? Products and ideas. In the past, people learned about the world through contact with other people. Isolation from waterways meant slow development. Yeah, I hope you've done the same. And now listen for explanations. Listen to this once again. When you listen, now write down the lecture language. Okay, here it will be. And then listen again and write down the explanation. Okay. So listen to the lecture, then check with the transcript. Okay, so that's how we finished our first skills focus.